Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from the Meadowlands Racetrack here on Saturday evening. It is the 24th of September 2022. I'm going to look at all the races on tonight's program for the Meadowlands, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it, around the world. Let's look at the action from the Meadowlands. Starting off with race number one, it's a maiden claiming event going for per $16,500. Race for maidens, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, going for a claim price of $10,000. We have a field here of 11 horses entered to go the distance of ground of 1,000 meters or the distance of ground of 5 furlongs on the Meadowlands turf course. 1,000 meters, 5 furlongs here. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 9 horse. The number 9 horse who is Gleaming Brutality. Let's go 9, 6, 10, 7 in the superfecta. 9, 6, 10, 7 super. Top selection 9 horse Gleaming Brutality. 3 affiliated by Violence. Steve Caceres trains this one. Hector Dias Jr. gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came on the 22nd of August at Colonial. 5.5 on the outer turf course in maiden 16,000. And the horse finished second by 3/4 of a length that day. He was dueling early on, seeing some quite wicked paces. He just kind of got caught late, but he ran his heart out there, going to a claiming 10 here at the Meadowlands. Lesser quality horses should get a good trip from the outside. I think the horse could really run a good race and go away with it. 2 back, the horse ran at Delaware on 21st July, 5 furlongs on the turf in the main 16, and he finished second by 2 lengths. Didn't have the best beginnings that day, but he slowly moved his way up. He couldn't catch the winner, but he ran decently, earning a 53 buyer. And then the dirt at Delaware, 5.5 in a maiden optional 27,000. He finished 4th by 4 lengths. He just tracked, but never could get the good turn of foot. But since coming to the green stuff, he's really been on the improve. Coming here today, he has a lot of pace into him. To begin off the pick 6, I'm actually going to single him. So to recap my selection for the opener from the Meadowlands, let's take the 9 horse Gleaming Brutality, 9, 6, 10, 7 in the superfecta. Let's single the 9 in the pick 6. The second race from the Meadowlands, it's a claiming event going for a purse $23,500. Race for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. Never won 2 races here, going for that $30,000 claiming price. Field 10 horses heading to the green stuff. The distance of ground of 1,600 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile on the Meadowlands turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile here. My top selection, let's go take the number 10 horse, Princess Blakely. Let's go 10-1-6-5 in the superfecta. 10-1-6-5 super. Top selection 10 horse, Princess Blakely. 3 affiliated by Cairo Prince. Chad Brown trains. Hector Dias Jr. gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 16th of July at Saratoga. Mile 16th on the Mellon Turf course in a claim 35,000 non-3L. And the horse finished 3rd by 2 3/4 lengths that day. He basically stalked from a very wide posture, was wide throughout. He just need the extra turn of foot, but I didn't think he ran half bad off the bench. Coming here with another quick turnaround of some decent runs, getting Lasix back on. I think the horse could really get a good race to win. 2 back on the 9th of April at Gold Street, mile 70 on the Tapeta and Lounge Race 43,000 for Florida Breds. He finished 4th by 4 3/4 lengths that day and had a little bit of a troubled trip from the inside. Never really got out and, just never had clear sailing room. It wasn't the day to win. And then the debut on the 9th of January at Gold Street, mile 70 on the Tapeta and a maiden optional 50, winning by a half length. He sat back early. He slowly moved his way up and dueled way to the wire, and he got the job done. He's been training well at Monmouth since the last run. Coming here at 4-1 should get a good trip. I'm going to use this one. I think you also have to use the rail horse, the number 1 horse, who is Miss Beauty Princess. Most recently claiming 30 at Monmouth over the mile 16th. The horse finished 5th by 2 3/4 lengths that day. Just really couldn't get out. Just never really showed up. Coming here today, has some forwardly pace if he wants to use it. It wouldn't surprise me if this horse could steal it on the front end. We'll definitely use this horse in the pick 6. But to recount my selection for the second from the Meadowlands, let's take the number 10 horse here, Princess Blakely. Give kudos to the 1 horse, My Beauty Princess. 10-1-6-5 super, 10-1 in your multi-race. The third race now from the Meadowlands, it is a claiming event going for a purse of $18,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. Never won 2 races here. Claim price $7,500. We have a field of 10 horses going the distance of ground of 1,000 meters, or the distance of ground of 5 furlongs on the Meadowlands turf course. 1,000 meters, 5 furlongs here. And the Meadowlands is one of the few. Meadowlands Colonial are some of the few turf courses or racetracks that run claiming 7,500, claiming 5,000 on the turf course. Other than that, they're usually at the lowest, made in 35,000, something like that. So I find it quite cool. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the 3-horse Chief Rider. I'm going to go 310. 8.5 in the superfecta, 310.85 super. Top selection 3-horse Chief Rider. 4-year-old gelding by Peace and Justice. Kathleen Damasi trains. Gets Wolferton up in saddle. The horse's most recent outing came 29th of July at Monmouth. 5 furlongs and claiming 16. And the horse finished 8th by 7 1/4 lengths and basically lost all chances at the beginning. Didn't break that well and just never really got into it. Got into it, but had to be quarter horsed after that, where he didn't break so well. Coming here today, hopefully with a better break, definitely has a lot of forward pace. I think the horse gets back to the winner's enclosure. 2 back on the 9th of July, Monmouth, 5.5 and claiming 16. First off the refreshing, he finished 3rd by 3/4 of a length that day. He was setting the pace early on. He got caught late, but he didn't go down without a fight. First start back since September. I thought it was an okay event. And then last September, Penn National, 5 furlong yielding ground, claiming 16. First time facing winners. He finished 2nd by a half length. He set the pace. He got caught, but again, he ran his heart out there. And then his only victory today came at Delaware last July. 5 furlongs in main 16, winning by a neck on the front and all throughout. He held on to a very nice victory, earning a 58 Beyer. His Beyers are definitely going up to scratch. I thought he could have probably won last time out if he broke. Hopefully he breaks today. I think he could find the winner's circle. I think the 10-horse Drum and Drummer is your second likeliest winner. Most recently, Colonial in a claiming 10. He finished 2nd by 1/4 lengths, and he just stalked. He really closed up well late. I didn't think it was a half bad race, cutting back and trip. They've been running him in routes where he just wasn't really showing up. Cutting back to 5 furlongs, where he doesn't need the lead, where he could get a good pace to close up with. At 4-1, we'll use him in the pick 6. But to recount my selection for the 3rd from the Meadowlands, let's take the 3-horse Chief Rider. Give kudos to the 10-horse Drum and Drummer. 310.85 super. 310 in your multi-race. The 4th event now from the Meadowlands. It is an allowance race. Purse $45,000. Races for 3-year-olds and, for 3-year-olds which never won a race, the main claim starter or state bred allowance race, which never won 2 races here. We have a field of 10 horses going to the turf course. The distance of ground here of 1,600 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile on the Meadowlands turf course. 1,600 meters, 1 mile here. My top selection, let's go take the number 9 horse and the number 9 horse Merci. Let's go 9-1-6-10 in the superfecta. 9-1-6-10 super. Top selection 9 horse Merci. This 3-year colt by Noble Mission. Jose Camacho trained this one, gets Torres up in the saddle, blinkers on today for the first time. Most recently, they ran the horse at the end of August, Saratoga, mile 16th in her turf course and claiming 50,000 non-2L, and the horse finished 3rd by 1.5 lengths that day. Had a stupidly wide posture, was wide throughout, but when he finished 3rd by 1.5 lengths, I thought he ran decently. I thought the turn of foot wasn't bad. Coming here today with a good pace in front of him, I know it's an allowance race, but it's not the world's deepest allowance race. I think stepping up from claiming to allowance company, he should really get a good trip. 2 back at Saratoga, mile 16th in the Melon, and claiming 35 non-2L. He finished 4th by 2 3/4 lengths that day, and basically lost all chances at the post draw, basically. 10 of 12 he was drawn. He was wide throughout. He moved a little bit late, but then he moved a little bit early in portions of the stretch run, but then he just kind of crumbled late. He definitely needed a better trip there. And then the 18th of June at Belmont, a mile 16th optional 80, he finished 6th by 2 1/4 lengths. He stumbled out of the gate, which cost him. He never really got the good turn of foot. He's won once. That came actually at Tampa earlier this year in his debut at a main special weight over the mile 16th. Won by 2.5 lengths, coming from mid-pack. I thought he won quite nicely. Came back to a decent 4th after that at Keeneland, going a mile 16th, where if he had a better trip and saved a little bit more ground, he probably could have won, but he's coming between horses. But he's training well at Belmont and at Monmouth. Coming here today at 5-1. I'm going to use him on the ticket. I think you also have to use the 1 horse here, who is Owoo35. Most recently in the Better Talk Now over the mile at Saratoga, he finished 2nd by 2 3/4 lengths, was stupidly wide, but was really closing up well late. And then at Saratoga in optional 80, he finished 2nd by 3/4 length. Again, was dueling, just couldn't keep up, but he still ran his heart out. His races, on turf haven't been half bad. Coming to Jersey, we'll use his horse on the ticket, but I do prefer the other one before this one. But to recount my selection for the 4th from the Big M, let's take the 9 horse Merci. Give kudos to the 1 horse 0-2-3-5, 9-1-6-10 super, 9-1 in your multi-race. The fifth race from the Big M. It is a claiming event going for a purse of $19,000. Race for 3-year-olds and up, which never won a race since March the 24th, or which never won 3 races here. We have a field of 10 horses going 1,000 meters or 5 furlongs on the turf course. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 7 horse Beach Warrior. Let's go 7684 in the superfecta. 7684 super. Top selection 7 horse Beach Warrior. 4-year-old gelding by Treasure Beach. Patricia Farrow trains one. Isaac Castillo gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came last week, on last Sunday at Monmouth. About 5.5 on the turf course and claiming 14, and he finished 11th by 13.5 lengths that day. Very tough horses. He never really got a good turf from the outside and just never really showed up. Maybe some broken equipment. Coming with a quick turnaround here today, back to the Meadowlands where he ran very good last fall. I'm going to give him another shot on the quick turnaround. 2 back at Monmouth, 5 furlongs and claiming 18. He finished 5th by 6.5 lengths. He just kind of stalked the pace. He could never get the good turn of foot. It just wasn't his day to win. And then a Monmouth 5.5 and a claiming 12.50. He finished 4th by 1/4 lengths. Again, he had a bad beginning that day where he got bumped, but was gaining ground late. He's won once this season. That came on the 30th of May. 5 furlongs on the lawn at Monmouth and a claiming 16. Winning by half a length on the front and off the route. He really had the speed to win. After that, they took him to an allowance race at Monmouth where he just ran horribly. But like I said, he's run decently here at the Meadowlands. He won here last season. His only win of 2021 came the 2nd of October. 5 furlongs in a main 20,000. Winning by a neck from a tracking position. Even after not the best beginnings, he won quite nicely. Ran 2 weeks later in a claiming 25 where he finished 8th by 3/4 lengths, and that day he was just drawn stupidly wide. I like to see him use the speed. If he uses the speed, he could definitely win. I think you also have to use the 6 horse here, Minnesota Lucky. Most recently on the 8th of August at Monmouth, 5 furlongs and 12.50 claimer. He finished 6th by 5.25 lengths and really just didn't break that well. Was quarter horse out of the gate after that and just kind of hit the wall. But I think going back to 5 furlongs, they've been trying this horse routing where he hasn't been doing well, but back to 5 where he has some speed. I'm going to use this horse here, and I think the 8 horse Fair Catch also. Originally entered for Friday's card at Pimlico, but scratched to run here today. He's getting some class relief all the way down to a main 5. He has some speed. His buyers could be up to scratch. We'll use him if he's sound. And the 4 horse Slippy, coming in from Monmouth, coming in from dirt to turf today, has some speed. Hasn't run on the turf in quite a while, but those turf races haven't been half bad. 6-1. We'll use him in this very, very wide open 5th race. But to recount my selection for the 5th round of the Meadowlands, let's take the 7 horse Beach Warrior, 7684 super. We'll use all 4 of them in the pick 6 because this is a very wide open race. Let's get to the nightcap, the 6th race from the Meadowlands, which is the main special weight, purse $40,000, race for 2-year-old fillies here. We have a field of 11 horses entered to go the distance of ground of 1,600 meters or a mile on the turf course. I'm going to take here the number 5 horse. And the number 5 horse, Selenia. I'm going to go 5-10-9-1 in the superfecta. 5-10-9-1 super. Top selection 5 horse, Selenia. This 2-year-old filly by See the Moon. Jonathan Thomas trains. Isaac Castillo gets the mount. 6-1. His most recent outing came earlier in the month of the 4th of September at Saratoga. Mile 16th inner turf course and main special weight, 105,000. And he finished 8th by 13.25 lengths that day. And going out of the gate, this horse really bumped the gate hard, where it took some stride out of her. She slowly recovered, get to the front end, but then she kind of hit the wall late. Hopefully breaking better today. If you go off the workout pattern, she has some forwardly pace, it looks like, and she has some good speed. I think she could really run and improve off that last race. I'm going to use her here along with the Chad Brown 6 horse, along with the Chad Brown 10 horse, the 10 horse Monetize It. 2-year-old colt by Lupe de Vega. Chad Brown trains. Hector Dias Jr. gets the mount. Most recently, is making his first start, but most recently had a workout last Saturday at Belmont on the train track. Half mile 50 and 3, the 117th best workout 153, and a 4 furlong workout in 52 flat, the 100th base workout of 113. Looking at the workout patterns, this horse looks like she has some speed. Coming here today with the Lupe de Vega, those horses have forwardly speed, which I think is good on this turf course. At 3-1, we have to use this one, and I think the 9 horse Ella Francis, Christophe Clement, first time starter, been training well in the Oklahoma train turf Saratoga, with Cairo Prince. And the congrats on the dam side. I'm going to use this horse on the late picks, on the pick 6 to end it off. But to recount my selection for the 6 from the Meadowlands, let's take the 5 horse Selenia, give kudos to the 10 horse Monetize It, and the 9 horse Ella Francis. 5-10-9-1 super, 5-10-9 in your multi race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.